Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a beach channel time trial up in New York City that you probably saw the vlog of yesterday. So I already talked about a little bit how it went in the vlog, but I'll kind of summarize it again later. But just my goals initially to start off were 430 watts about average. It was a 10K time trial. I wanted to, the speed wise I wanted to be around 28 or over. So that means that I was gonna have to be in my TT or draped over position for the whole race, which was again the goal before I came up. But then the day off, and as I came up to New York and as we got to the course, it was very windy and very cold. Which meant that being in that aero position was a little bit tricky or pretty much impossible with the gusts. So to be safe, I was mostly in my hoods, trying to be as low as possible. Here, you know, obviously we just started the race, we're already going, and then on our way out, there was a massive tailwind. So really nice, a nice wind. And as I said, my goal was 430 watts, but I was talking to my teammate before the race and he said to go a little bit more conservative on the way there, since you have this big tailwind. So pretty much going from, you know, 35 to 36 miles an hour, you're gonna have to go 50 to 60 watts more, which isn't really worth it, and you can save a lot more, you know, to go back when you have a huge headwind where you really need to survive. So way there was about 6 kilometers, way back is about 4 kilometers. It's about 4 miles out and about 2.5 miles back for the American viewers. So as you can see here, we're already hitting 34 miles an hour. I'm holding about 380, 390, 350 now. So it's kind of jumping all around. It's really hard to hold consistent power when you have the you know, huge tailwind, or kind of like, it feels like a downhill really. So, you know, you're kind of spinning over. I'm at 105 RPMs, and as I shift up, I go down to 90, and then slowly it goes back up to 100, you know, so it's like really hard to be on top of that gear. And as you can see, the road is a little rough. We are on a highway. I was expecting or hoping to be kind of a shoulder, but there really wasn't a shoulder, and here I'm drafting this van. There was no cars behind me, and I figured, you know what, I'm already on a highway anyway, so might as well just get the most of it. But he kind of went away, so I didn't really get anything out of it. Plus, again, it's tailwinds. It's not really helping all that much. The speed is even greater after I passed it now. We're at 36 miles an hour, so pretty good so far. And then as far as organization, the race, I guess it was as organized as good as it could be. You know, it was an unlicensed race, unsanctioned, so a lot of volunteers helping. Organizer Alex did a great job, you know, of starts and everything. The race was a little late, which helped me because I was a little late, which is something I'll talk about in a bit. But it was nice to make it, you know, it was nice to race. It's just nice to see these events happening with all this crap going on in the world. But you can see I'm still on a highway. There is this shoulder on the right, but there are car parked or standing or going really slow, so you can't really go there. And yeah, but there's not a ton of cars, so yeah. So now we're coming to the point where I messed up my whole race. So here you can go right or you can go left, and my smart ass decided to go left. And there's a couple of reasons why. First is I looked right, and there was a little bit of a riser or going up the hill, and I remember everybody saying how the flat this time trial is. There's pancake flat this, flat that. So I'm like, oh look, there's a little bit of a riser there, that there's no way that that's where I'm gonna go, so I'm gonna keep going straight where it's flat. So, you know, and as you're going, you know, as you're going pretty hard in your head, it's kinda I guess those decisions are split-second decisions, even if they look like you have a lot of time to make them. But in my head, I'm like, I made the decision to go left, and I went left, and it was obviously a wrong decision. As you can see, we're already a minute in, almost, and me going the wrong way, and now I'm turning around, going the opposite way of the traffic. and I'm still trying to figure out, you know, exactly where I need to go, and I'm losing so much time here. I think I lost, I mean, we'll see after, and I'll put a little timer in the video, but I think I lost about 2 to 3 minutes of just trying to find my way, and then, you know, the time loss, that's raw time loss, plus then the momentum I lost, because I was going about 36 miles an hour right before that turn. So now I'm still trying to figure out my way, hoping I don't get hit by these cars going the opposite way. I think I'm gonna do some off-roading here as well, because I have to go. So now I stop to look for where I have to go, but I'm gonna go across the grass at some point, or maybe I already did. Yeah, and then you come back. So now I have to actually climb the hill, which at 35 miles an hour probably wouldn't be really a hill. It's more so like you know, you just fly through because you have all the momentum stored. Oh, here we go. The little cross-country riding, which is good. I need to do some gravel riding in general, so I think this was a good section for me. I got nice exposure to dirt. And here's the cameraman. He was pretty bummed. He saw me going the wrong way, but I mean, obviously it's not his fault. It's my fault. One thing I'll say is, I do think that there was supposed to, you know, there was definitely, well, at least I would hope that they would have somebody at that intersection. Obviously, if you're a local or if you know the course better, or even if you look at the map, you should probably know not to go left. But you know, I'm not local, and I tend to not do the map checking, or I guess what I do, I don't really I get to the races unprepared. I don't really check enough, or I don't really go into the details too much of the course, which is a big thing in cycling. I'm not used to doing that, so I think that's something I have to start doing. Really, I have to load the course into my Garmin. I tried to do it the night before, but I couldn't get it because it's a Strava segment, so I didn't know how to download it, and I didn't go through the Google Maps images. So that's something I need to probably do for the next time, just kind of to know exactly where to go. But yeah, anyway, so we missed a turn, lost about 3 minutes of time. You know, not happy, and at this point I'm so mentally out of it. I'm trying to see, I don't even know what's going on. I'll have my Garmin in miles, and in my head I'm thinking, oh, 6K is where I turn, and I keep looking down and I'm seeing, you know, 3.5, and I'm thinking, oh, it's 3 more Ks to go, but I forget that I'm in the miles. So it's just a mess at this point mentally. I'm trying to still kind of go and hold the power, but at this point, you know, that's just irrelevant, or I can't really focus on it. I just want to finish, and I'm hoping I don't get lost anywhere else. Kind of sucks, but I still have a decent tailwind here. 30 miles an hour, not bad. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of a cross here as well, because we turned right, so more cross than tail, but still pretty good speed for this section. And it's still tricky to get to the arrow. I'm trying to get draped over, but as I do that, and then the gust kind of hits me, or a, you know, road bump, I kind of lose the lose it a little bit. So then I go back to the hoods to be a little bit safer. And here I think we're coming close to the turn, which I had no idea the turn was coming. You know, as I said, my Garmin was in miles, and I'm expecting to see around 6Ks in, or 6. Number 6 is in my head without even thinking about miles or Ks. I'm expecting to go for a, you know, decent amount of time still. And then all of a sudden here is where the cone's gonna appear, and I think a volunteer is gonna be standing at it yelling at me to turn, and I almost miss it. So it's gonna be right around here now in about a second. So I almost missed it, and apparently people were turning before the cone, which was what they were intending for us to do, but I went behind it. So right here, I think I even yell or ask, is this where we turn? And I brake really late, I skid a little bit, it's just tricky to turn. So not ideal, and I have to, you know, go back up to speed. But fortunately I did shift down before, so I was in a good gear to get back up to speed. And now here we have huge headwind back, so I think it's about 15 miles an hour headwind, I will say. I'm gonna guess. So it's really, 21, 22 miles an hour was as fast as you will go, pushing 400 plus watts. And again, I'm still trying to kind of figure out being draped over to get lower, but it's really hard because your bike just starts moving and kind of jittering as soon as the wind gust hits. And then with the gusts, you have these bumps on the road, which are really kind of crappy. And here I'm trying to even be on a line, because the painted line felt a lot smoother than the road here. This road is kind of older, and you can even see the bumps in the road, so you can just imagine how much buzzing you're getting while you're riding. So I'm trying to be on a line because it just feels better to be there. But then I'm kind of, that's really hard to mentally focus on, to really just be on that line. So that's already sapping some energy out of me. But it's still, it's going. And then I think at some point I do figure out the better way to be in my draped over. You can see the blue bar tape on my bars. I put that there so I kind of have more grip when I'm there, so I can turn the bike and control it. But if I kind of put my arms down and then wide and hook around, or like kind of hook the hoods with my forearms, I'm able to actually control the bike and be down. I am wider than with my arms, so it's not ideal from that standpoint, but I'm much lower, so I think at some point I'll do that. Then that kind of worked all the way to the end. I think I managed to pass one person, and that was about it. I think I ended this race coming up in 12th place out of 24 riders, I'm gonna say. So I didn't come that last, but obviously could have done much better. Yeah, so this is what I do now. So I try and go as wide as I can with my arms to kind of hook the hoods, as I said, and this keeps me in a good control over the bike. So that was a good takeaway from this race. At least I know that I can do that when I have tricky conditions. But again, at this point I just want to be done. The power is all over the place. I'm not even focused on that. I'm just hoping that the finish comes soon. Kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. I think 2020 we're gonna dub it the year of learning, and I'm just not gonna worry about all these mistakes. So the more I make now, the less I'll make next year, which is really what is gonna count. Hopefully, hopefully we get a vaccine, hopefully we get some races going, and yeah, I'm gonna let this run to the end. Nothing really exciting happens. I think at some point I just passed a rider who was struggling pretty bad in this headwind. To be honest, I think I could have made more time in the headwind if I was kind of smarter at, if I was able to think clearly as I was riding, if I was able to really just dig deep here on this way back, I think I could have clawed back a lot of time and at least, do a little bit better. But again, time trial is a race against yourself, really, so I already lost that race in my head, taking the wrong turn, so this is just to finish. I think it's interesting when you have a goal or set a goal for yourself and then something happens, it can really take you out of the race. It can really affect you so much that it's hard to get back to your original goal. I'm even going, oh yeah, this is a little bit of a riser here, a little bit of a hill, something drops to try and push over it. My fiance did this race, Jenny. You saw her in a vlog. She did great. I'm not sure the speed she averaged, but I think she said she was going 27 going out, which for her is the fastest she ever went. I'll post some pictures up in a video later. When they were taking pictures of her, she was smiling so hard and so wide that it looked like she was just on a leisurely ride and not a race. And then you see everybody else passing by having a really hard grin on their face, like they're working. This is pretty funny pictures. And here we're back in a back to being draped over. I think this is how I finished the race. My heart rate's not even that high. Like, I'm in 177s. I mean, I should be at 190 to 200, you know, in a race like this, really pushing all out. But as again, just, you know, as I said, it took me out of it mentally, and it's just hard to refocus when something like that happens. But I think that's another thing that it's not good, and it really shouldn't happen. Like, even let's say you're in a crit and you have a flat, and then you get to the pit and you get a new tire or whatever. Like, that shouldn't affect you mentally so much to just kind of be out of the race at that point, because this is, you know, technically this is the same thing. It's just a distraction that happens. And here I'm catching up to the guy. Man, as boring as time trials can be from watching it, I'm actually having so much fun with them. I just kind of you're discovering yourself and see, you know, what you can do. So it's fun from that perspective. Oh no, I guess I passed two people. Passed one guy now, and then I'm catching up this one. But I'm pretty sure those guys passed me as I was trying to find my way back. So I'm just kind of getting some time back, but not enough. And then the finish here was a little tricky. Honestly, a lot of people didn't even see the cones, and you'll see it as we come up. It's gonna be on the right side. I honestly didn't see it. If my friend didn't yell at me to get into the cones, I probably would have missed the finish. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but it just kind of goes to show how focused you can be, or not focused you can be on little things on the side. And honestly, I don't remember seeing any of these cars as I was riding, which is kind of interesting, funny. And here we go. So the finish is gonna be on the right side, right here, in about in a few seconds. See the cones already, but as I was going, I barely saw this cone. Like, I didn't even see it until somebody yelled at me, and then I kind of slid in between. There we go. That was it. Overall time was 16:39, I think, for me. I don't know exactly how much time I lost standing. You know, obviously I know the raw time, but that's different than losing all the momentum, right? And here I am, just complaining life and everything. Here's my friend Bryce. He got 4th in the end, so good job, Bryce. Jenny got 4th as well, so good job, Jenny. And my teammate Konstantin got 1st. He won the non-time trial bikes, and Masa got 3rd in the time trial bikes event. So pretty good showing overall. Happy with this. I will say, waking up early and driving up for 8 a.m. race is kind of rough. So I'm gonna have to figure out, you know, the races usually in New York are 6 a.m. So I'm gonna have to figure out a way to go there the day before, stay there, and then race in the morning. So definitely not driving for that in the morning of the race. But yeah, anyway, so takeaways. I have to learn the course before the race, prepare better, just organize myself a little bit better, not just arrive there and expect and assume things are gonna just fall into place, because out of all the races this year, none of them was straightforward. So anyway, that's it. 2020, year of learning. Thank you guys for watching.